Good morning everybody, welcome back to another vlog. As you can hopefully tell, I'm looking a little bit better than my introductions on these vlogs. Usually my hair's a mess and I am not ready at all. But I have somewhat of a busy week this week, and today it's starting off with me interviewing my lovely friend Rachel tonight. Her second book came out a couple of months ago and she's doing an event in Durham and I am interviewing her for it. So I am going back to see my parents today and then I'm going over to Durham to do that later on. And I thought, what a perfect week to vlog, because I've got that, and then on Sunday I'm also doing a panel talk in Heaton in Newcastle with a queer collective, so I've got that as well. And I just think it makes a nice change that I'm somewhat dressed up. I mean, I'm wearing the same outfit as what you probably saw me in the previous vlog, but that doesn't matter, does it? We're all outfit repeaters here. I've put a little bit of makeup on. That is bright. And since my last vlog was basically me being a weather channel, it's definitely a lot colder than it has been, to the point where I have no idea what to wear. Do I put a coat on? Do I not? Am I going to be sweating? I don't know. It's very wet outside, but the sun's shining. So maybe we'll get a rainbow. Hello everyone, my name's Ella. I'm going to be interviewing Rachel today. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to be doing a mix of heavier, lighter questions because it's obviously a heavy book, but a very needed book. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to start with a lighter one. Okay. I'm going to ask you about a moment of joy from the writing process, or just anything to do with this book, whether it's meeting somebody that's read it or something to do with your research that brought you joy.
There's that amazing community that's had to pull together, and there's always people who are going to be there in your corner. And what was really amazing about the fight, especially from March to like July, was that there was so many of us all fighting together. We could split it among ourselves and take turns, and if you had to go pass out for a few hours or a few days, somebody else would be there, and it was that lovely sense of, this is shit, but we're all in the same sort of shit together.
There's always those little pockets of, you know, you find the people that are like you.
I first started knowing you when you were doing those videos that were like your mum.
Oh!
I don't know if anybody has watched any of Ella's videos, but Ella used to do videos pretending to be their mum.
It was this is an audition tape for the role of my mum when I showed her some of my tattoos or like used the word queer, and
but
just northern mums, isn't it?
Because Ella has the same accent as me, their mum sounded like my mum. So I was like, that's my mum!
Something that I found really interesting in the book was so many historical figures and people who were really important in the movement that you just don't hear about. You know, everybody knows the suffragettes, but then you hear about disabled people within that and how they had their own struggle within the tears. Do you have a favourite person in history or in media representation, whether that's TV, film?
Rosa May Billinghurst, because I just cannot get the image of her barreling. So Rosa May was a suffragette, and she used to use she had a tricycle wheelchair, but she used to use her crutches to literally barrel towards policemen during the suffrage movement.
She had socks that she threw.
No, rocks. She had a rug that was a blanket to keep her warm, and she used to hide.
I misread it as socks. I was like, she's bundling up her socks and throwing them. That makes a lot more sense.
So she had...
The turtlenecks are officially out. Oh my goodness. It's happened. It's bloody happened. Somebody's enjoying the sun though. Lounging about on top of me drawers. What are you doing? Oh my goodness, she's so precious. She's enjoying a sun puddle. Keep disturbing her because all of my stuff that I need to get ready with is in here. Oh my goodness. I need to get some work done today, so I'm going into the office, which a running theme is that I'll say I'll take you with us and I never do because there's nothing to film, I'm just working. My goodness, shush! Magpie. I really, really enjoyed myself last night. Hopefully I got some decent footage of the interview. It was really nice. I did lose my bus pass though, and I'm really annoyed at myself. It's probably somewhere where we went, but I don't really want to call around trying to find it. Jesus, those magpies. You know when you you go, oh, I've never lost this before. I know it's going to happen soon. And then it happens because I'd never lost a bus pass before. I've manifested it. I had a really horrible interaction with a straight man. I was walking through the train station at home back in Newcastle, and I hear this man behind us go, oh, you? And a reflex just made me turn around. Like, I shouldn't have turned around. And he was drunk. He had a can in his hand and his mates were walking away from him, and he was like, I've just been talking about you on the train. And I was thinking, that's making me uncomfortable. You've got really great style. He was drunk, and I was like, all right, okay. And I tried to walk away, and he stood in front of me and he went, I wouldn't be able to tell my friends this, but I do think that you're attractive. And he was like checking to make sure that his friends hadn't heard him say that. And I was like, oh my God, this man is embarrassed that he looks at me and thinks I'm all right. And like, if I was a conventionally attractive woman, he probably would have said that to his mates. But because I'm not, he's embarrassed and he's having to hide it from them. And I was just like, I managed to get away from him. But if I confuse straight men like that, I'm all right with that. I don't want to be objectified and I'd rather not be talked to. But if I am causing that kind of confusion in straight men, I'm okay with that. You know, I think that's quite funny. An easy meal that I've been cooking recently is like a bulk pasta with pre-chopped veg and passata with lentils. This is from a previous meal that I made where I didn't use everything. So I've been freezing things, and then I've been making bulk pasta where it's literally just throw everything in, because I hate cooking. I hate feeding myself. It's one of the things that I just find so incredibly difficult. So if I can simplify it in the best way that I can by freezing things that I just have to chuck in a pan, I'm gonna do that. Currently, this is what the passata looks like. Why is garlic so hard to chop? Like, I know you're meant to get one of those ow! My nail! One of those boards. For something so delicious, oh my goodness, it is hard to chop. Yum! Basically put cheese on the top and just like let it sit. It's like an in-pan pasta bake. A pasta fry. Yum! So recently I was gifted a vinyl record player, which is part of an ad going up on my Instagram, but this part isn't an ad, I'm just vlogging. If you didn't know, Jade Thirlwall, Jade, former member of Little Mix, released her debut album, and she did a random like pop-up gig at the Angel of the North, which is in Gateshead, just over the water from Newcastle. And I was like, I have to go, so obviously I went. And then when I was in town the next day, I popped to the vinyl store that she had done a signing at, and they had one signed vinyl left. And I was like, this turned up the same day as I managed to find this. I was like, it's fate. I have to buy it. What are you doing? But basically I'm gonna set this record player up because I have never owned one before, so it's kind of a new thing for me to be setting up. Okay, it's working. I need everybody to know that I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, I've done it. I know how to do it now. Great. Yay! Good morning, everybody. It's now Thursday. I didn't film much yesterday because, to be honest, I didn't really do much. I went to see the Inside Number 9 Stage Fright stage production. It was great. I went in with no knowledge of what it was about. Like, I had absolutely no understanding of what the story was, what they were even doing. And like the TV show, if you haven't watched Inside Number 9, it's great. It's an anthology TV series where every episode is different. They're only half an hour. It's dark comedy where there's lots of twists and turns, really great characters, really great storylines. And it finished last year, but they've done a stage production and it was great. So I went to see that, and I'm now off to see some other family today. So I'm probably not going to film much of that, but I will see you later on. Hello everybody, happy Friday. Didn't end up filming much yesterday, but I'm now sat doing a jigsaw, so I thought I'd come on and have a little chat about what, I don't know, but I'm sure I'll find something to yap about. I'm currently re-watching all of the like Educating Yorkshire, Educating Essex, Educating Manchester documentaries, I guess they are, because there's a new series of Educating Yorkshire out at the minute. you don't know what that is, they're basically documentaries about schools in the UK where they put cameras in schools for a year and just like filmed. The first ones came out in like 2011, a long time ago, and I remember loving them. And I remember trying to find these recently and couldn't. So they were clearly taken off streaming services, but now that they've got a new version on, I'm wondering if maybe they're going to be doing more. But I'm watching it and I'm like, it's giving me anxiety about being in school. Because even though I left school 7 years ago, like sixth form, did my GCSEs 9 years ago, it feels like yesterday. And I know you get warned by adults that, you know, things come round quick. I can still vividly remember being in school like it was yesterday, and the emotions and the anxiety and the, just like looking at school environments, because like they film in quite run-down schools. And that's what my school looked like. I didn't go to a posh, fancy school. I didn't go to private school. I grew up in a very working class community where the majority of people around me were also working class kids. We had some posh people, I'll give them that. It just feels like watching school. They're even doing some of the same GCSEs that I did because it didn't change. It's just making me anxious because I'm like, oh, I have terrible memories. That teacher reminds me of this teacher. And then I'm like sat here doing my jigsaw getting angry thinking about all of the teachers that failed me. When really, it don't matter now, does it? Although I have always said, if I could go back to my school and give some teachers a piece of me mind, I would. Yes, I had some lovely teachers, I really did. There's a lot of teachers that nurtured my interests and were the reason that I went on to do literature at uni. But there were a lot of teachers who honestly traumatised me or made me think about myself in ways that I shouldn't have been thinking about myself, or who minimised everything that I went through to the point where I only realised the severity of my mental health issues or things that I've been through once I went to therapy as an adult, because they made me feel this big. And then I watch shows like this and I'm like, wow, obviously some of the behaviour's terrible, but the teachers that they've got clearly care about them. None of my teachers put in half the effort of these people. I knew I'd find something to rant about, and I've just basically done a dump of school trauma. But I just think that there's something very specific about going to school in the northeast. You're not just working class, you're also in the north, which is an area of like a lot of deprivation. There's not as many opportunities in school environments, or there isn't really the availability to do a lot of the fun things and the trips and the whatever. But that's something that I spoke to Rachel about at her book event. The very unique challenges that you face growing up in the north and being working class. It just is not the same as living in other areas, and of course everywhere has those struggles, but there's just something so unique about living in the north. I mean, half the time people go, oh, I'm going up north, they'll go to like Manchester and Leeds and then just forget about the rest of it and just think that that's where Scotland starts, if they even remember that Scotland exists. But I love Newcastle so much. I want to do a video, my other social media, about like my favourite spots in Newcastle, whether that's like places to go for food, fun things to do, or just why I love the city so much, because it just is the greatest city on earth. I know everybody says that about their favourite city, I guess, but Newcastle just is this like pocket of, it's a walkable city. You've got everything you need. You're 20 minutes from the coast, you're 20 minutes from the countryside. I'm about half an hour from where I grew up. And part of me is like, do I want Newcastle to be represented and seen more, or do I want to keep it to myself? Because the last thing I want is for it to become completely unaffordable, overrun with like gentrification, and allow the outskirting areas, which are incredibly deprived, to become even more deprived. Basically, if you've never been to Newcastle and you're looking for a city break, you should come to Newcastle, because it genuinely is beautiful. I have slicked my hair back and put some makeup on because I'm going to an Elvis and Audrey Hepburn themed birthday party. And, well, I mean, if that's the theme, then my hair is going to have to be slicked back, isn't it? This is not what I'm going to be wearing. I'm not going to be filming. I'm going to get on the metro. I'm going to take me cryptic crosswords with us. Still loving a cryptic crossword. And I'm going to go have fun. I had a very exciting delivery yesterday. I've been on the hunt for something for a really long time and I managed to find some on Vinted for a decent price actually, because these things can be really expensive. So I have wanted some brass wall ducks for a really long time, but I'm obviously obsessed with ducks. And these are just a very classic, there's 3 of them, all getting smaller. They're a very classic thing that people would have on their walls. I have been in so many antique shops, vintage shops, whatever, and even asked staff, like, do you see these very often? And they've said no. But I know that I saw them in like older relatives' homes when I was little. My grandma and granddad didn't have them, which I was quite shocked at. But for example, there's a house in Beamish Museum that has them in. So I've been on the hunt for some of these for ages, but they've been like over £100 on Vinted, and I can't justify that. But found these, I think they were about £30, but I had some credit, so I think I might hang them today. This wall space up here, basically around Halloween time, I put loads of bats up, and when I took them down, I just felt like this space was so bare, and I was like, oh my god, I could get some flying ducks, that would be really cute. Found them. I think I'll stick them to the wall first to figure out where I want them placed. I feel like that's a good idea. They're quite heavy. Maybe I should have made some stencils? That sounds like a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. I know I'm not gonna want them super central. I kind of like things when they're a little bit skew with. You know what it is, I'm just gonna go for it, because what do you get in this world by being safe? Lots of things, probably. Toolkit, hammer, nails. Oh my goodness. Stop! I think it's too far along. I think it needs to be more that way. Okay, the smaller ones stick. That makes sense. Physics. No, I think that they need to be not central on the wall. Over that way. Oh my god, that's so cute. I love them. I feel like I'm really channeling my inner granddad. Call me Nick Knowles, because I am a DIY expert. Oh my god, stop. Have you seen that? I love them. Oh my god. This is the duck painting that I painted. And there are my ducks. Aww. Off for a nice little migration. Oh my god. I love them. I love them. Aww. You know what? What is life if not a time to be surrounded by ducks / insert your favourite animal here? I'm Ella. I founded Canny Queer Collective back in 2022. I went through a breakup and it was my first queer relationship, and afterwards I just felt like very lonely and like I didn't have a sense of community around me. So I was like, well, I might as well do it myself. So I got a group of people together. We came up with some names. I think one of the initial ones was NE148 queer. Then we realised that NE148Q is the postcode for Manjaros. Maybe not. And we run casual events, coffee meetups. We've done a few open mics, and then we've done some larger scale events, like some mini music festivals in the area. And we've gone on a bit of a unintended hiatus at the minute. Haven't done anything since last Halloween, but we will be back.
So the country is really horrible at the moment. Every third house has an England flag hanging off it, and that's pretty terrifying, I think, at the moment for women, for queer people, and specifically trans people and people of colour. I think sometimes being in the city centre, you get kind of bubble. Yeah, you kind of forget that it's going on in the wider world.
It can get you really down seeing a place plastered in flags, but then sometimes you'll walk past a house or know of a friend who has purposely gone out and bought a trans flag or a Palestinian flag and have put it on their window to be like, you know, fuck you. If you want flags, I'll give you flags and I'll put my own up. Yeah. And sometimes it comes from the most unexpected people. And I just think being able to witness that empathy in people that you didn't even necessarily realise that you needed to see it from is really nice.